Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about League of Legends and if a VPN can help you get better ping. And the answer is really going to be that it's going to depend on your personal connection and how fast your internet is and what your ping is right now. But before I get into that, I just want to explain exactly what ping is and what a VPN is in case you don't know. So ping is basically a measurement of how much time it'll take for data to travel from your computer over to the game server, to the game that you're playing, and back to you. Now, in League of Legends, or pretty much any game, lower ping is going to be better. And here you have just some basic benchmarks. 0 to 50 milliseconds would be really good. 50 to 100 is decent. 100 to 200, you're going to start getting some delay. And 200 plus, you're pretty much not going to be able to play the game. It's going to be too laggy. And you can actually test your ping right now without even opening up League of Legends by going to this website over here, gameserverping.com. They have a bunch of different games. You can test the ping to the different game servers. Now, I'm not getting amazing ping over here. It's going back and forth between around 100 and 110 milliseconds, but that would be playable. And again, this is the measurement of the time between your computer and these game servers where you'd be connecting up to play the game. If you want a more detailed list than this is just like the regions. If you want the actual locations, then you can go over to the League of Legends fandom website, and you'll have here the exact locations of the cities. So Sao Paulo in Brazil, Frankfurt, Germany, Amsterdam, Miami. So you're gonna have more exact cities, instead of just it saying like Brazil, you have the exact city within Brazil, so you know where the server is. And this is going to be really important for the next part, which is going to be what a VPN is, right? So a VPN, it stands for virtual private network, and it does two things pretty much. It's going to secure all of your data, your entire internet connection. It's going to make it that nobody's going to know what you're doing online. Even the VPN themselves doesn't know what you're doing online. And you'll be able to find out more about these VPNs in the description below. But let's say right here, ExpressVPN, they have an audited no logs policy, which means that an outside company has checked and verified that they do not keep any personal information. So nobody, not the government or your internet service provider or the VPN themselves, knows what you're doing online. Now, on top of that, and part of the privacy aspect over here, is that they allow you to connect up to a different location somewhere else in the world and make it seem as if that's where you actually are when you connect to the internet, so that any website that you connect to will think that that's where you're located. So I said right now I'm in Europe, but if I would go into this location bar right here, and here we have the locations, and I would click, let's say, United States, I would go over here, and let's say I click Miami, right? I can just X that, click on this connection button, and now any website that I go to will think that I'm actually in Miami. That's where they will think that I am. For example, if I went over now and signed into my Netflix account, it would think that I was in the US, and it would give me access to the entire US library of content. Instead of what they would offer wherever I am now in Europe, I would get access to different shows and different TV shows, and I would get the US library of content. So that's how ping works, and that's how a VPN works. Now, putting two and two together over here, when it comes to gaming and League of Legends, right? Let's say we know that the servers that are in the US, there's going to be one in Miami and one in Chicago, right? So now let's go over, instead of ExpressVPN, let's use NordVPN. This is another really nice VPN, and they have this map interface, right? So we can use that, and they have server locations in Miami, and they also have here in Chicago, right? So let's say you lived in California, right? San Francisco, right? Or somewhere in California. So you'd be pretty far away from both of these servers that are located more towards the East Coast. So in this case, if you weren't getting good ping already, or maybe you're not getting stable ping, it's good sometimes, but then it jumps up and spikes and gets really high and really laggy. So what you could do with a VPN is connect up to one of these servers over here, either in Chicago or Miami. Chicago might be a little bit better in this case because it would be closer to California, depending on where you are, let's say Northern California, wherever it is. So you would just have to click on this dot here, this little node, and then on the left-hand side, you see we're connecting up to a server in Chicago. Right now I'm connected using NordVPN in this case over to a server in Chicago. No matter which game it is, you always want to connect to the VPN before starting up the game. But now when you go into the game, it's going to think that you're in Chicago. You're going to have a more direct and also a pretty fast connection up to this Chicago server, because NordVPN and Express and Surfshark, the other two VPNs that I'm going to talk about in this video, are all very fast VPNs. So you're going to have a fast and stable direct connection up to that location, which is very close to the gaming server. So that can help you get faster or at the very least, more stable ping. And that's pretty much it. That's how you would use a VPN like Nord or Express in order to get better or more stable ping when you're playing League of Legends. Just find out which game server is the closest to you and then connect up in the VPN to a server that is in the location or as close as possible to the location of the game server. Now, there is two things to keep in mind when you're doing this. The first thing is that this will only help if you already have somewhat decent ping, right? If you have already pretty bad ping, right, like you're seeing over here, then a VPN is not really going to help you out, because at the end of the day, when you're using a VPN, your computer is connecting up to the VPN server and then going over to the game server. So you are introducing another step into your connection over here. So unless your ISP was really bad and they were connecting you up to a bunch of different servers before getting over to the game server, or you already just lived very far away from a gaming server, I don't know, maybe you live in like Alaska or something like that, and you're very far away from any server in the US. So in that case, when you're starting out with pretty bad ping, a VPN can help you get better ping. Now, there are two things to keep in mind when you're using a VPN with League of Legends. The first one is going to be that if you already have good stable ping, like, you know, your ping is less than 100 milliseconds, there's really no reason to use a VPN. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to make it better. It'll only probably make it worse. And that's because at the end of the day, when you use a VPN, you're introducing a new step in between you and the game server, because now your internet is going to go from you to the VPN server to the game server. So if you have bad ping, then a VPN can help potentially lower it. If you have unstable ping, then a VPN can hopefully stabilize it. But if you're getting pretty decent stable ping already, then there isn't any reason to use a VPN, and it'll probably just make it worse. And secondly, Riot Games, the makers of League of Legends, they only allow you to play the game in the region that the account was initially set up to, right? When you make an account for League of Legends, you're going to be asked to pick a region, and that's the region you're going to be locked to. That's the only place you're going to be able to play on those servers. So if you, let's say, made an account in the US and then you moved over to Europe, you're only still, that account that you originally started with in the US is only going to be able to play on those servers, either in Chicago or Miami. You're not going to be able to play on the European servers, and using a VPN also here, it won't help you, because at the end of the day, that account is going to be locked to those servers, and the distance between the two continents over here, between Europe and North America, is just going to be so far that you're going to get bad ping. A VPN is not going to help you out. So in this case, the best thing to do is to just make a new account and play with that. You can also ask Riot Games to transfer over your account from the US to Europe, and you're going to have to contact Riot directly in order to do that. So those are the two things that you should just keep in mind when you're using a VPN. Now, having said that, if you are going to use a VPN, these are my top 3 recommendations over here. So the first one is going to be ExpressVPN, right? This VPN is my overall favorite VPN. It's the one that I personally use the most. It's very simple and easy to use. I showed you, just click on the location bar and click connect, and that's it. It comes with the basic features that you would expect from a VPN, like a kill switch and split tunneling, and its servers are optimized not just for gaming, but also for streaming and torrenting. It has the best record of pretty much any VPN that I know of when it comes to security. It has the most independent no logs policy audits that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Compared to other VPNs, ExpressVPN has just done way more. So it's a really secure, fast, simple VPN. Personally, it's my favorite and my go-to option. The thing with ExpressVPN is that it is designed to be very simple and not get in your way. Just be, you know, open it up and get it running and then minimize it. So if you are looking for something that has more features and is a bit more technical and allows you to do a little bit more with a VPN, then I would definitely recommend NordVPN. They also have a no logs policy, and with their NordLynx protocol, it's also maybe one of the fastest VPNs available right now. You'll get a few nice add-on features like Threat Protection Pro, which is basically a mini antivirus, and file transfer, which allows you to securely transfer files between different devices. So that's a neat little feature, especially if you're torrenting. You can use the VPN. They have these specialty servers over here, and for example, they have a few different options. One of them would be, let's say, double VPN, connecting you up to 2 different servers, so you get an added layer of protection. And then they also have here P2P, so these are optimized servers for torrenting. So I found it really useful. If I'm torrenting, I can connect to these P2P servers, torrent whichever file I need, and then with the file transfer, I can just transfer that file over to my phone if I need to, and it all goes really securely and really fast. So that's a nice little feature over here that you get with NordVPN. And if these terms that I'm using, kill switch, split tunneling, and protocol, if all that stuff is unfamiliar to you, or maybe you just want to find out more in-depth information about these VPNs, there will be full reviews in the description below. And lastly, if you're on a budget, but you still want to get a high quality VPN, I would definitely recommend Surfshark. It's the cheapest of these three options over here. The premium plan for Surfshark is still going to be cheaper than the basic plan for a lot of other VPNs. So this is a really good option if you're on a budget. I personally don't find it to be as fast or as stable necessarily in terms of your connection compared to NordVPN or Express. So if you do have a little bit more money, then I would recommend going with one of those, either Nord or Express, but Surfshark is still probably the best option for the price. You're gonna get a VPN that just has a lot of high-level features that you don't normally find for this price. So that's just a quick wrap up of all these three VPNs over here, my top recommendations. But like I said, if you wanna find out more about them, or if you wanna get a discount link that will save you some extra money on them in case you do wanna try them out, you'll find all of that in the description below. I hope this video helped you out, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.